And it goes a little something like.
Hey guys, I'm Kent and welcome back to my channel. So a few things I want to cover in this video. One, check out my cool new LED neon-like sign. It's got my East Coastish logo on it. It's from Crazy Neon. I'll link in the description below, but I think it looks great on my wall. The next is I want to talk about a race bike that I'm building, or that I'm going to be part of the build and part of riding it in a 24-hour race at Adams in a few weeks. So it's not my monkey that I have up here. It's actually an SF Grom. It belongs to Max, who's one of the SoCal track rats that I see at either Apex or Adams all the time. He's also taught me a lot about riding, so looking forward to having him here in my garage, and we're going to do some installs for that bike. So that guy has a stock Grom, and he's the fastest guy out there on the track. He's a great rider, but for this event, we're going to use his bike for the build and for the ride. So we've got to modify it a bit. I think we're in the 125 class, so we can do upgrades to the exhaust and intake and ECU, but I believe we've got to keep the bore 125. Anyway, I reached out to Tyga telling them about this project, and of course they were on board, so they sent me a number of parts here. I think tonight we're just going to install the exhaust. Max is going to be here in just a little bit, and we'll show that install. And unlike the hack that I am, Max is actually a motorcycle mechanic, so the install is easy as it is, but I'm going to have him do the install, and I'm going to film it for once for a change of pace. But let me show you some of the stuff that Tyga sent for this build. Lots of stickers and keychains. Those are going on the bike for sure. I'm trying to remember everything we ordered. These are some gaskets we're going to be tearing into the engine. We've got some bearings. I believe this is an internal engine bearing. I'll open this up, but this is a couple of their chain rings. It has this cool gold color. Can't remember exactly what teeth configuration, but we chose a couple that we're going to test. We're going to be at the track this Sunday riding the bike around. And then the exhaust. We ordered actually an extra set of the header pipes. We're going to have to get at least one of the sets welded with a bung because we're going to be running the RC Mini X and AF2 in this setup. And then this is the exhaust that we'll be installing as soon as Max gets here with his bike. This is a high mount exhaust, again for the OG and SF bikes. I believe it's going to look very similar to the high mount that I'm running on my wife's stunt Grom, but looking forward to getting this installed. So while we wait for Max to get here, I'm going to open everything up. I'll actually read the directions first for once to make sure that we install everything correctly. And we'll rev the bike with the stock exhaust that Max has in his current configuration. We'll get the exhaust installed, and then we'll let you hear what it sounds like with the new setup on. And while I have the camera here on my wife's bike, I thought I'd show some of the differences in the options available for the can. These are effectively the same cans, just with different finishes. My wife's bike here has the full carbon finish, and the can that we're putting on Max's bike has the stainless steel finish. I think they both look great. Another option that Tyga offers is you can order it without their logo if you want to run a stealth look. Tyga is sponsoring this build, so I'm really proud to display their logo on this, but it is an option if that's something that you want. All right, so I was reading the directions, and if you have the stock fender, you need to cut away a portion of the fender and also cut a hole through the outer liner to fit the bracket that mounts the exhaust here. But since Max is already running a tail tidy, it's going to be pretty straightforward. We're just going to use some bolts, washers, and nuts to mount it up and support it here in the back without having to cut anything. If you do have the stock assembly though, make sure that you read the directions because it also comes with a little template of exactly what you need to cut out to make everything fit. See how awesome the
fury of our stock exhaust here.
see what we started with here.
Everyone cover your ears. I seriously think my intake's louder than the exhaust right now.
Alright, sounds good? Let's throw on the Tyga and see what we get.
Awesome. Should be a little better than that. So we're going to go ahead and pop our stock exhaust off here, which on the Grom is pretty convenient. Just got a couple lower mounts, our two little front header mounts. With any luck, the stock exhaust should come off really nice and easy.
I think that nut is just barely hanging, or the bolt is just barely hanging on.
Hanging by a thread there. And there's that guy. And there's our stock exhaust. Hopefully ground for the last time.
Man, check that out.
Some of this is from crashing, but most of it's from riding.
So the one modification that we do have to make, because we have the stock hugger here, the instructions say that we need to cut off 30 to 35 millimeters of the hugger right here, because this is where the pipe's going to be coming up and through.
Fortunately, it looks like just 3 bolts to pull this guy. Oh, make sure you throw your tools, and there we go. Lovely. I would typically recommend wearing safety glasses, but it's late and we need to get it done. They do such a nice job on those welds. Inside of the pipe's nice. That is beautiful. And these were the ones we ordered spares of, right?
Correct, yeah.
Okay, sweet.
And then, yeah, I think the instructions said you reuse the stock.
Little mounting bolt right there.
Part right there.
Hell yeah. This will be our little pipe. There we go. Ignore my zip tied rear brake switch at the moment. I think we just got our little muffler here.
And it looks like there's hardware in both sets, so I just take one off.
We love extra hardware. That is never a bad thing.
Yeah, the stainless steel looks pretty clean on that too.
Yeah, that's a good looking pipe. Little carbon end cap.
All right, and that's pretty much it. We got to put the springs on and tighten everything down.
And yeah, it's probably the easiest exhaust I've ever installed.
All right, well, let's get it tightened down and then we'll fire it up.
Hell yeah. Kent's nice convenient spring tool here. Makes it an absolute breeze. As I say that, I can't get a hand on the eyelet.
Yeah, you should go the other direction on
Oh,
this.
yeah. Sweet. I think we just got our little mid. Lovely. A handful of bolts just to snug up. Awesome. Man, look at that. That was a quick, easy install.
That was super quick. All right, so I think things ready to fire up, right?
I think so. Do we want to pull the baffle out, or should we fire it up with it in?
Let's try it with the baffle, and then we'll try without.
Hell yeah. It's actually kind of nice with the baffle in. It's not obnoxious.
Yeah, it's not at all.
Definitely throatier, but not obnoxious.
All right, let's go for obnoxious.
That's a good sounding little pipe. Let's change that. It should.
Or is the nut welded on?
Yeah, the nut should be welded to the baffle. And then if all goes really well, it won't be incredibly difficult to get out. Look at that. Love when they just pop right out. Okie doke. Let's see what they're opened up. That's a little throatier.
Yeah.
That is quite a difference with the baffle out.
Yeah, that sounds great though.
Yeah, we can still have a conversation. It's not deafening.
Yeah, we're inside of a garage and still talking. All right, so big thanks to Tyga for helping us support this build. We got a lot more videos coming as this bike gets put together and then once we get it onto the track. So thank you everybody very much for watching. Stay tuned for more videos and keep on building.